give everybody just a quick update on our severe weather that we're experiencing at the moment. Luckily for Saxony, I think the worst is over, but the National Weather Service just issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas County, Rockwall County, and counties east. So I just want to give everybody kind of a visual of what's going on. And while I think that the worst is probably over for us, so just as reference, this is the beautiful Saxony right here. So you saw some purple here. I think most of us experienced a little bit of pea-sized hail. Nothing too big, thankfully, but quite a bit of wind at my house. My anemometer, we had measured a 40 mile per hour gust, if I could talk. So you definitely got pretty windy here. That did not reach severe levels. You got to get to 58 to do that. So definitely not severe at my house in particular. But I wanted to give everybody just an update on what to expect going forward, because I think that's probably the bigger thing that's on our mind. So as you can see from the radar, this line has intensified quite a bit from when it was back near Fort Worth. And I'll put this line in motion here and kind of give you a better idea about that. So what you saw is that, when I did the update, the still radar picture a few minutes ago, the line was pretty thin, and it finally is in motion here. So you can see that first little wave kind of petered out a little bit. Then this line really started to tighten up. And so you can start to see these purple echoes, which typically indicates hail, which some of us saw. Now, what I did want to point out, though, is if you are in Rockwall County, you're seeing this little bow structure right here. So that's where the strongest winds are. That's why the National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning for these counties, because you're probably seeing some winds in excess of 60 miles an hour there. Here in Saxony, we escaped most of that, but definitely had some strong winds, like I said, 40 miles an hour at my house. So again, another thing I would point out, again, if you're in Mesquite, I would say the Forney area, this area here, you want to watch out for starting to take on a bow characteristic, which again would mean that there's a pretty good amount of wind with it. Again, moving east, not going to affect Saxony, but if you live in Forney, Terrell, out that way, just be on the lookout for that in the next 30 minutes or so. You see some wind, and that's a pretty big hail core right there. Not hail in individual size, but just an aerial extent of hail, probably some quarter size hail, as a weather service just mentioned. That's why you see this yellow box outlining everything. So let's expand the view just a little bit more, and I want to give you an idea of what we can expect going forward. Let's see if this will. Oh my goodness, I can't get this to behave. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, so let's expand this out, move this over. So you do see this area of weather right here. There's nothing severe here, and that's expected to kind of stay that way. Let's hope so anyway. So if you put that in motion, you'll see the general movement of that is to the east. I don't think it's going to really have a lot of punch when it gets here. So I'd made the comment on Facebook that I think this is our last round. I still think that's the case, but Mother Nature is kind of crazy sometimes. You just can't predict everything. So let's just stop this real quick. So I think what I can do, and this is going to be tricky on the fly, what I did want to show you is a satellite picture. Let's see. Let's get, there's a big old me. Let's try this again. Let's change this. And there we go. All right. All right, so you lost me, but I'm still here, I promise. Okay, so I wanted to show you this real quick. And again, you can see this thunderstorm development east of Abilene. And of course, you see just as these storms entered the Dallas County area, you can see on the satellite picture, they really blew up. And that's why we got a little bit of the rougher weather than we thought we were going to have initially. But I did want to show you the upper level low is back in the Texas Panhandle. So that's going to move east across Oklahoma tonight. And once that moves east, our weather will be over. Tomorrow will be a very nice day. It'll be kind of warm, a little windy, and you can't see it on this particular screen, but because it's night. But you can kind of barely make out some dust out here in San Angelo, Abilene area. That's going to hit our way, so maybe a little dusty. You may see some dust on your cars in the morning. But as far as the severe weather is probably just about over for us. I'm going to see if I can do this on the fly here. There we go. All right. So one last look at the radar as soon as it wants to behave. Let's try this. Let's go here. Yeah, there we go. All right. That's a fun part about doing it on the fly. So a little bit bigger picture. We'll put this in motion one more time. So I really think this is going to be the last round of everything. But again, there is some activity out to the west, and you may see some of that later tonight. But I don't think it'll be anything like this. The good news is with all this activity going over us, it's going to stabilize our atmosphere somewhat. So I don't think we're going to see anything like that. But if that little round holds together, that's out near Mineral Wells right now, if it holds together, then you're probably talking midnight ish. And if I stop this here real quick. You can see here it wants to kind of fire up a little bit, but that doesn't mean it's going to fire up big time. I think like I said, I think the worst of it is over for us. But there is the one caveat: that little line out near Mineral Wells, we got to watch it a little bit. I think it's about 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime, so I don't think there's any problem going to bed. But if you do have to secure anything, if you haven't already, you might be too late for that with our last round of storms. But if you need to secure something, if you could still do that, I definitely would do that. If something kind of crazy happens within the next hour or so, I'll let you know what that line of storms behind us. But I really think it's the worst of it is over. So the bottom line is this. So if you live in Rockwall County, Kaufman County, definitely expect to see some hail and high winds. It's going to move through fairly quickly, probably next 15, 20 minutes. And then after that, we'll pretty much be done. I'm going to be watching this line behind us. I don't anticipate it's going to be severe, but again, we have a pretty volatile atmosphere, even though it didn't get that warm today. Just think about this. If the sun had come out, then we would have had a lot rougher time. So thankfully that did not happen. Okay. So like I said, the worst of it's over for East, Dallas County West, Dallas County East, the next 30 minutes or so. Just be prepared for strong winds, small to medium-sized hail. It will move on out, and then we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. As always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Everyone have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon.